Of money is occurring, but on Bitcoin as a gold equivalent with the three Bloombergs you've got downstairs, what is the correlation of gold with Bitcoin right now?
Last year it reached the highest ever on a 52-week basis. Now it's breaking away a little bit, but when Bitcoin reached 1 trillion, gold bottom, I view them together as a bucket. They belong together.
Because really as a bucket trade.
Because I cannot analyze gold anymore without putting Bitcoin in there, because Bitcoin's replacing it rapidly. And what's the next iteration? And there's central banks, a lot of gold. It might be
so. John, I can see it. Tiffany's going to have Bitcoin jewelry. I'm all over that.
Okay, let's hope Mrs. Keane likes that too. Mike, great to see you, sir. Rebecca Patterson of Bridgewater. Great to catch up with her a little bit earlier. And we talked about the volatility of the asset, the volatility potentially of a unit of exchange, and this volatility needs to come down. So, Mike, I'm trying to understand from your standpoint, what leads to lower volatility?
Higher prices. The key thing to look for about volatility is the depth of the market. So let's look forward, say 4 years, when we get to the next halving. Bitcoin will be much higher. It'll have much greater depth, and the volatility will head towards the same volatility as gold if the trends are example. And also a key factor about Bitcoin is two-factor model in terms of volatility, supply and demand. Supply is fixed for Bitcoin. Everything else, it's uncertain. So that's where I think you have to look forward to. If you want to wait for Bitcoin supply to go down, volatility to go down, great, but it's going to be from a much higher plateau with much more depth. And the question is, what will it take to trip that up? And I don't know what it is at this moment.
Wow, spoken like a true Bitcoin bull. There's a question, of course, also Rebecca Patterson talking about the regulatory framework, the idea that when there is more regulatory certainty, that's when Bridgewater will take a more serious look in addition to less volatility in the crypto asset. What are some of the regulatory hurdles, the sort of thresholds that people are looking for with guidance with respect to any potential rules that could give people the sense that there is certainty there?
Well, when you mentioned Bridgewater, Ray Dalio did say he was fearful about the potential for banning Bitcoin a while ago. And they've tried that in other countries and it just moves to other places. And one thing to remember about Bitcoin, it might be the most unique example of decentralized capitalism on the planet ever, because it just migrates. As mining migrates to where it's cheapest and where it's used the most. And I think the key thing to think about regulation is, in the U.S., yes, regulate it, embrace it, and it'll put us ahead against the major adversary like China, who's trying to do it CBDC. And then let's look at regulation. What we have coming as far as a dangling carrot for the bulls is a U.S. ETF. Now, it's happened in Canada. It's just a matter of time.
On the marketing side, if Yellen regulates Bitcoin, what does price do?
Depends on how she regulates it. If she tries to ban it, it'll just move someplace else. But I think more regulation brings in more institutions, and that's the major oomph right now. That's the major flows. Institutions are coming in this space, and all they need is the market to calm down a little bit, and they're going to be buying more. That's what I see, that's what we're hearing, that's what I'm sensing. We're seeing that in most markets.
So, Mike, do you agree with Rebecca Patterson then? So if we get some form of regulation, it encourages the institutional buying, and that will lead to lower volatility?
I think it's more of a when.
Really interesting. Mike McClone, Bloomberg Intelligence commodity strategist. Mike, thank you, sir. Looking at Bitcoin this morning, just south of 51,000, Tom, up a little more than 6 percentage points on a session.
No, 58 to 48. I think we even got a 46 there for a while and a nice bounce back this morning. I can't make anything really technical of it, John. And if you say to me, what's fair value, I'm not smart enough to figure that out.